Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
And I'm Scott Wakefield, host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham, where we talk about comic books and all kinds of great storytelling, sometimes with incredible guests. And we want you to join us Wednesday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you there.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Silverline's Wednesday Night Wham! Hosted by Swike!
Good. Oh, pardon me. I was just putting the finishing touches on Steam Patriots. Just one moment. Just yours, humbly, your servant, always and forever, Scott Swake Wakefield.
Esquire.
Esquire, etc., etc. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday night, and you're right where you're supposed to be here on Wednesday Win with us. I am your host, Scott Wakefield, and I am so thankful you're here. We have a full house tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. I will tell you what we're talking about very soon. You might be able to pick up on some cues, some visual cues tonight. We've got Barb joining us, and she's gonna chat. You'll find out why she's here. We got C. Michael back. We got Rory Boyle back. Welcome. And we got the usual lineup of our great people. I'm going to try to wrangle everybody this evening. We are very happy you've joined us. Hey, and before we get started, we are brought to you by the Daytona Beach Comic Book Convention, happening September 18th and 19th in beautiful Florida. So, hey, head over to their Facebook pages and their Instagrams and their website and make sure you are signed up and you get all of their emails. We are also brought to you by historycamp.org, and that is an online convention that's coming up July 10th. So go over to historycamp.org, make sure you sign up to get their notifications as well, and you can sign up for their History Camp on July 10th to join in the virtual convention and get your history on. Yes, I am paid for the number of times I say history.
We're also sponsored by the concept of history.
It's there.
He's made so much money you can buy a period clothing.
Take a shot.
You can be dressed like us with all your history money.
Shot.
Barb, actually, I would really enjoy if you were really thinking.
You do not want to see me at the end of this 2 hours then.
I think it would be hilarious. So, hey, before we get really rolling, we'd like to introduce ourselves. And I'll start, and then I'll pass it off. I'm going to go from my screen. I got Rory, Haley, Brent, and I'll let you know when you're coming up next. So, my name is Scott Wakefield, and I'm the co-creator and co-writer of Steam Patriots. And I have been saying for about 19 and a half years the upcoming title from Silverline. But the upcoming time is getting shorter and shorter. So stay tuned for news from that. And I'm coming to you from beautiful secret bunker somewhere in Western New York. And I also help out with Silverline's publicity. So if you have a podcast, if you have a show or you review or somewhere in the pop culture, comics, movies world, we would love to chat and maybe get on your show and have you get on ours so we can promote each other. I'll pass it off to Rory, and then Haley, and then Brent. Go for it.
Hello, I'm Rory Boyle. I'm everything Scott said and more.
Is that it?
That's it.
We're not in this.
Also coming from that same secret bunker.
Reveal that later. It's supposed to be a
like
gag.
coming on and going, ditto.
I'll drink to that. Okay, all right, Haley.
All right, I'm Haley Martin. I am the artist for the upcoming Silverline title Bear. I also do my own webcomic called Heroic Shenanigans, and I'm in Florida.
Thank you, Haley. Brent? Brent? You gotta unmute, Brent. Brent, you gotta click the...
Wait, what if it's... What's your audio input set to?
Well, let's go to Dean. And Haley, you were a little quiet. So is that just me, or was she quiet for everybody else?
She was quiet.
Okay.
quiet.
Okay, go ahead, Dean.
I do have Haley turned up to 200%.
Excellent. My name is Dean Zachary. I work for Silverline as well, working on Silver Blade, and I've done covers for the books we're going to discuss tonight, alternate covers. And you can find me on all the usual, locations, Facebook, what have you. And just happy to be here and talk about two great books, which I won't reveal until Twake announces them in a moment.
Dean, you forgot to put an adjective before you said the word covers. I would offer amazing, awesome, incredible.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm blushing.
Mind-blowing, stupendous.
Indeed.
Yes.
Thank you.
Incredible art. Hey, Brent, make a noise. No, he's very quiet still. We got the mute little signal there. Down bottom left, Brent, if you click the microphone or on your own screen. All right, Tommy's showing up. Okay, we'll go to C. Michael, and then Barb. Go for it.
All right. I'm C. Michael Lanning, Silverline artist working on the upcoming Rejects. I'm coming to you from where Mad Max is finally coming true down here in Louisiana. And you can always find me on Geek Speak on Monday nights and Weekended on Friday, where we like to talk about comics. Always about comics.
You are a man about the live stream town.
Yeah.
And we're happy to have you. I know you've been burning the midnight oil at both ends, right? So
yeah, and
that's the phrase, right? That's how it goes.
Yeah, that's how. Burning both oils.
Not as much as my wife does, but
yeah, she's everywhere. Hey, Tommy.
Hey.
He said, "Okay, hey Barb, go for it, and we'll let Tommy get situated."
Okay. I'm Barb Kelber, and I am the CFO of Silverline, colorist for Sirens, and the inker for Cat and Mouse. And let's see, what else was there? Oh, yeah. I'm the creator of Divinity.
Oh, interesting. I've heard of that.
Creator and co-writer, inker, and colorist for the award-winning Divinity.
Yes.
And I was just on C. Michael's show on Monday night.
And a very good job. I
time,
caught a good portion of that. Well done. Well done. The show's a lot of fun. C. Michael does a great job.
Oh, thank you. I'm looking for my next guests next Monday. Just saying.
Who could that? Who could it? Well, we'll talk more. And we're gonna we'll go over to Tim. Say hello. Explain yourself.
I am Tim TK, and I categorically deny all charges. I am also the associate editor at Silverline, which means I do the blog stuff and run the craft series. I'm also the writer and creator of the upcoming title Wolf Hunter, World War II espionage action. And I am our producer for the Wednesday night show, coming to you live from recently sunny and warm Oregon.
Nice.
Yes, and World War II espionage action. Yeah, like those are like three words that you put them together, and you got me. You got me hooked.
Oh yeah.
And Tommy, you're are you drive? I see. Looks like you're driving. Yes, coming to us on the road.
Can you? Well, first off, can you actually hear me?
We can.
Oh, well, how about that? That is a miracle. So I don't know how long this is going to last. I just wanted to be here tonight for you guys because this is your night, and I wanted to make sure I got on. I got stuck over at the Kablam office, and my wife and I are making our first road trip out tomorrow. So I was just informed that we're probably going to leave as soon as I get home.
Oh.
So this is the only time I'm going to be able to be on. So my name is Thomas Flormonte Jr. I'm an inker, colorist, writer, publisher, co-owner of Kablam Digital Printing, and I'm currently inking a bunch of stuff for Silverline, and it's kind of hard to drive and figure out what I'm trying to say at this stage.
Oh, I thought it was kind of hard to drive and ink, because I was going to ask, why aren't we seeing
Oh,
ink?
I'm driving and inking at the same time. Yeah. So if all of a sudden this car goes, you
please,
you guys know what happens. But just lost me right there. Oh no, it's still working. Okay, cool. No, my screen is. I haven't used the app on my phone, so I'm not sure what's coming up. So I'm fixing to get on I-4, just if anybody wants to know, and then I'm going to get on the turnpike. So taking my life into my hands here. Let's see what happens.
Well,
good evening, everybody. Love you guys. What's up?
There's a look of genuine concern on Brent's face.
I'm in Florida, also, where people went nuts to buy gas here in Central Florida, even though the cyber hack that happened is further north Florida and didn't even affect us, but people went nuts down here anyway.
And it's already been resolved as well.
Yes, and by Friday it should all be back to normal.
I
have to drive through all of that tomorrow, so hopefully we got enough gas to get through the spots that are going to be kind of iffy.
I saw someone pouring gas into like Kroger bags.
I saw that. That is insane.
It's like
transporting gasoline in plastic sacks.
Yes. Like you've heard of bagged milk.
You've ever seen on the news?
Yeah.
That was nuts. I saw the same thing, and I'm like, that has just got to be fake. Because those bags would just, the gas would just tear those bags completely up.
Well, yeah, it would melt it. First of all, that's like Darwin Award at their best, right?
Yeah.
there.
You've heard of bagged milk. Now here's bagged petrol.
Right. Has anyone seen that video? The fuel filling, like the gas station, the camera up on the roof, and I don't know, someone's filling a car, and the van pulls up, and I don't know, they're gonna mug this person, and I think it's a woman. She pulls the nozzle.
I saw that too. I saw that. It just started hanging up there. Yeah, that was so cool. I was like, yeah, go. Too bad one of those guys wasn't smoking. That would have been pretty fun.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Hey, Tommy. So, folks out there, Tommy inked one of the variant covers for Steam Patriots, and we'll talk about that too. So, little.
And it is available on the Kickstarter for somebody to own, because I did that one on paper.
One person can get that original out there. So we'll talk about that as well here very soon. Tommy, if you need to go for it. We appreciate you joining us, and we hope you have a great trip.
Now I'm gonna keep talking until I get to the house, at least.
Oh, okay. Well, we've done our run through. Brent, have you figured out how to make yourself heard? No.
It sounds like it's something in the audio input settings.
Yeah.
Look, I'm in a car driving. You can figure out. You're at the house. You can figure out how to make your speaker, your microphone work, man. Oh, look, there we go.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah. So. Yeah. Oh, he's gonna. Okay. All right. I think he's. Yes.
He's gonna try to
reboot.
Yeah.
Reboot.
So normally I try to serve some sort of IT purpose, but
would this be the first time somebody has joined while riding in a car, trying to?
I think you're making Wednesday
Yeah.
history.
That's right.
Well, yes.
Silverline encourages safe driving.
Do not look at us, no matter how handsome Rory is looking tonight. Okay, all right.
I see you guys are dressed up. That's pretty cool.
Dressed up.
Talking about?
Wait, Rory's back. Where did you do? Well, I want to see a suntan.
Right. He's been clearly living off the land in the woods.
So we Rory's gone from clean shaven, high and tight to wild man. Yeah.
He is. I see it without recognizing it. Look at that beard.
He's stumbled.
If I could only grow a beard like that.
He's rocking the COVID beard.
Yeah.
I think everybody's got one.
stumbled out by my house and needed food. He looked
emaciated.
eating berries and
twigs.
bark.
All right, Brent.
Ooh, la la la.
There he is.
There's the man.
I thought you were about to go into Ooh Child.
No, it was Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Okay.
Good reference. And they've got another season. Season 13 is on the 13. Yes, season 13 is on the way from MST3K, the greatest of shows. I'll stand by that statement. Okay, hey, let's talk about what we're doing tonight. Tonight might be the specialist show I've ever been involved with.
Well, have we actually gave Brent any introductory credits?
Oh,
He had his chance.
Brent, sorry. Show must go on.
Too bad.
Go
Showing
for
up
it.
late to rehearsal.
Brent, tell us all about you.
All right. I am the writer-creator of Kalis and the writer and creator of Cape Town, and both for Silverline. I'm here in Orlando, but I'd like to really get down to business on who Brent Larson really. No, I'm done.
What does Brent Larson mean to you?
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm glad you figured out your audio. And yeah, we've got so many great people here tonight, and we're gonna talk about the upcoming Kickstarter we've got happening very, very, very soon. And we have 2 titles. It has been our method to do 2 titles every time we do a campaign. Because we have so many great stories coming out of the Silverline creatives, all the brain power, just making amazing stories, and all the artists creating incredible art. So we've got 2 stories coming very soon. We have the second installment of Divinity, the award-winning title from Barb and others. And if you haven't grabbed Divinity #1, you will have a chance on the Kickstarter campaign and also at silverlinecomics.com. And then riding the Divinity coattails, the wonderful, successful coattails of Divinity, we're going to hop on.
Is there something else, or is it just one?
Steam Patriots #1. After
next award-winning
50 years
comic
of
from
waiting.
Silverline.
50 years of waiting, Steam Patriots #1 will be on Kickstarter. So our topic tonight, we're going to talk about these titles. We've got 1, 2, 3 creators here tonight for these titles. And if you have questions out there, toss them on the comments and we'll try to answer those. You can do that even after, if you're not watching live, toss them on there later. We'll try to get to those. We'll talk to Barb about her inspiration even for creating the story world and where she drew inspiration from. And Rory and I will have some banter about likewise how we created the story and ideas that we got and where the story world might go. We don't want to give away too many spoilers, but that's also part of the beauty of you joining us on our live stream is we do give a little away, and you get little extra nuggets, little extra bits that you wouldn't find elsewhere. So we'll try to not ruin any or give any spoilers, but we maybe give some insight in where the story might be going in the future, or we'll be just outright lie, and then you'll find out later. So we can get rolling. Dean, I know you had mentioned you might have some questions just queued up for Barb if you want. I don't want to put you on the spot. But,
I do indeed. I appreciate the setup from the enigmatic Swake. Thank you, sir. Barb, I just wanted to throw this open to you and sort of give us an idea of how the concept for Divinity developed and what some of your inspiration was for that great story.
Okay, well, first of all, I keep hearing a voice in my ear that's... Do you guys hear that?
Does it tell you like to burn down your neighbor's house?
I'm getting...
Is it telling you to do good things or bad things? This is what it's telling you.
No, it's a voice that's recording or reading off the comments that are coming in, and it's in one of those recorded voices.
Oh, yep. That's brought to you by Discord's streamer mode, which I do not get because my thing I have to have mine set up differently. But yes.
Well, it overrides what you guys are saying when it's
Yep.
in my ear. Is there a way you can turn it off on my ear?
We'll have to take that up with the server moderator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I didn't understand what you said, you want to know my inspiration for Divinity?
Please, yes. That'd be
Okay.
fantastic.
Well, I kind of touched on it on the first Kickstarter, but I really didn't delve into it for reasons. It's not a happy story. Just warning you guys up front, so you might want to get your tissues out. About 3 years ago, my brother was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic lung cancer. And it was devastating. My sister and I were absolutely, and his daughters were absolutely stunned. And it was already in stage 4. So my sister and I were absolutely frantic to do anything and everything that we could think of to improve his chances. We researched everything online. We were doing the juices and stuff like that. And I've never felt such desperation in my life. And I would literally and not very honorably done just about anything to save him, because we were the 3 Musketeers, my siblings and I. And about a month after his diagnosis, I had this very vivid dream in which my protagonist was a little girl who could heal. And I know that came from my wishful thinking that I could heal my brother. The antagonists, on the other hand, were this evil group of people who wanted to get their hands on her by any means possible, because they were desperate either through greed or through desperate to heal themselves, or to sell her services, or to say like black sites or government think tanks wanted to dissect her. That part of it was my desperation. So that kind of materialized in my villains. It was just 2 sides of my nature: my desire to heal and my desire to heal or get him healed under any means necessary. So I woke up, it was fully realized in my head. I had my heroine, little Divinity, we call her Vinny for short. Her brother, who's several years older than her, Zachariah, he's a Marine, and his fellow Marine who's been out for a couple of years, Olivia Barnes. And this is our 3 people that are the main characters, the 2 secondary protagonists who back up Divinity. It's their job to keep her safe. They go on the run from an evil cabal and run into various other people along the way. It's a great road story, basically. They go on the run and they meet all kinds of interesting people along the way. Unfortunately, my brother died in this past December. So now I can finally tell exactly where this all came from. While he was still alive, I didn't want to talk about it because he followed me. But that's where she came from. She was born out of desperation.
Well, it's a powerful story, and for those of you who haven't read it yet, you got to read this, because just the connection of family and the level of drama, the desperation, the urgency spills over into the storytelling. I mean, it's there. Obviously, you were channeling what you were feeling into the story because it's there. And I remember after I read the first issue, I immediately wanted the second one.
Yeah, and Maggie Thompson said the same thing after she read the first one. She wanted the second one right away. Unfortunately, and I apologize to all my fans out there, it took a long time to get issue 2 out. And that's because I had to take some time off to go care for my brother. But hopefully there won't be that long of a wait between issues 2 and 3.
Well, I can just say, as a fan of the book and your inking work, but also now as a fan of your storytelling work, everybody did a terrific job. It's one of those books you read and you immediately are caught up into it, and you identify with the characters. I mean, any one of them is a surrogate for the reader, and it's compelling. So I mean, great job. Can't wait for the whole story.
Well,
to be
thank you.
told.
Thank
So,
you. I was very honored that it was the first issue was named Best New Series of 2020 by the Independent Comics Award. So I
Richly
have a lot
deserved.
of hopes. I have a lot of hopes for it.
Yeah, yeah.
The number one it's great because you get this little slice at the beginning to establish the characters, who they are, how they're connected, their feelings. It's great storytelling because then we jump into you learn about Divinity, you learn about her brother, and the story world, and then it zips right along and then ends with that great cliffhanger in number one. And some of us have been privileged to read some of number two, so it's good stuff, and I can attest to that. It's great stuff. And when Roland was kind of tossing around the schedule for Kickstarters, who's going to be when, and Steam Patriots was ready, and he was kind of, okay, you ready? Are we ready enough? Is it going to go? And then we got the green light and found out we were going to be teamed up with Divinity. I was very excited because it's a great title with heart. And Dean said you clearly put your soul into it, and while everybody's doing that with their stories, but sometimes we get the popcorn comic, and it's great and it's fun. It's a jaunty ride where it's just fun. Yours has heart, and the characters. I have a good feeling the characters are just going to get deeper and deeper, and you're gonna really feel for the heroes of the story, and they're not two dimensional. They've already got their edges, so they're real, and I think you did a great job, Mark.
Well, I have to give all the props for helping me out to RA. The story is mine, the outlines were mine, the characters were mine. I had very detailed characters, backgrounds written out, but RA brought them to life in an amazing script. I'm not a scripter. I'm learning, but I'm not a scripter, and he brought the words to life and the imaging. He just did an amazing job. So we really are a team on that. While I'm the creator, he really is a huge driving force behind what you're seeing on the page.
Well, and I was going to say one of the nice things about being on the inside of Silverline is being able to see a preview of number two, which I have. And what's fun is we get a little bit more of a sneak peek into the villains. And when you asked me to do Pin Up, which became a cover, one of the most fun things about it was and speculating about who the villains were going to be and putting our heroes in a scene that sort of encapsulated them being hunted by nefarious, potentially government, dark ops. And that was a lot of fun. And I hope you noticed I was intentionally nodding to both of our histories in the 90s as comic creators in that cover.
It was a great cover. It's a great cover. And one of the things that I do want to say, that this is not, it's supposed to be an all ages book, but it's violent. So you're not going to want to show it to your 7 or 8 year old. There's going to be violence in it because the bad people are violent. And then what's really truly scary about it is that I'm not portraying anybody as a supervillain, like a comic book supervillain. These are based on real life bad people. And that's just, our world is so freaking scary as the way it is. These are greedy people. These are rich people. They're military people. They're religious fanatics. They're scientists. Our world is crazy enough that we can generate plenty of violence and scary people without adding any superpowers in. And Divinity is the only one in my series that has any kind of powers. Everybody else is perfectly normal in that sense of the world. There's plenty of evil in the real world to go around.
And even Divinity is relatable. I found with having a power, but she doesn't quite know what to do, and she's a real person. So anybody that would have that burden now of and your idea is very plausible because this person is very special, so we've got to get our hands on whatever her power is and exploit it.
Yeah, and she's only 11, so she's confused. She's trying to figure things out. She's a tween. She's got an attitude. And I don't know how many of you guys have had tweeners, but oh my god. And her older brother Zach is a Marine. He totally does not know how to relate.
Right. Yeah.
He's trying to give Marine orders, and she's like, I hate you.
Yeah. That's the appropriate response. It's good. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah. I do like right in the beginning. He's kind of a jerk. He's not very likable, but he's a what? How old is he? Or is that? He's just
20.
older.
He's 26 and she's 11. You know,
Yeah.
so he's got to grow into this.
Yeah. Yep. It doesn't know how to deal with her, and that's great. That's great because right at the beginning you're kind of like.
Yeah.
I don't really like him.
Oil and water.
How many people know how to deal with an 11-year-old anyway? Okay,
He's going to have to learn real fast, how to be a parent because his father and stepmother have been killed now, so he's got to step in and be the parent he is. Well, it was easier to be a Marine in Afghanistan than be a parent.
It's funny to understand that life, going from a life, and I don't want to opine too much on the military life, but going from a life where you're told what to do, everything's established, you have a routine, that's great, because then when you lose that is a very common problem. People that come out of the military, they lose their routine, they lose their security of being told what to do. And so that's great. That's great characterization. And he's because he's like just pulled right out because
I'm relying on you now.
Yeah, and so and then she has to rely on him, and it's great. It's great characters. I love it.
Well, thank you. I was really excited to see Steam Patriots because I'm a huge fan of steampunk. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I had my choices of books to have, and I'm like, oh man, I really like steampunk. I think I'd like to run it with Steam Patriots.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're gonna get along. Our story. I don't want to cut anybody off.
No, go for
it. We unless Rory had a dream, I don't know. We don't have the soul and the depth that Barb has. Ours is kind of a little bit of the popcorn story, but we want it to get. We want great characters. We wanted them to be deep, and we wanted to. One of the things we have real people and our real historical people in our story, and we didn't want to detract from their actual accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something big that is going to takes place during the Revolutionary War. But we never wanted to steal from someone's real accomplishments. What real people did. But our inspiration came. Barbie said steampunk, and the steampunk world is very much. It can be one of those broad terms, and like one of the running jokes is like glue gears to it, and now it's steampunk. So, but it's Victorian, generally Victorian England. Sometimes we'll have American, the Civil War era style with locomotives, and but it's very much a Victorian era style. But Roy and I said, it's got to start somewhere, right? Because if it's 1850 and they've got locomotives and steam or whatever in the steampunk world, where's it got to back up to and start? And
That's a good point.
Neither of us remember who that's why we say co-created, because we can't come up with, we don't know who said. How about Ben Franklin? And so in our story, he did not invent the steam engine. We didn't take that from Lycoming or Watt, but he tweaked it. So this is the Steam Patriots timeline where he figured out how to make a boiler engine.
And see, you made it believable, because I can actually see that happening.
Thank you. So we
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, and so we didn't want it to be super heavy-handed with steampunk just yet. We wanted to have it be a lot of still iron and wood and handmade, hand-forged stuff.
Leather belts, pulleys, and everything, working all the machinations.
Yeah, and have it be like only slightly more convenient than a horse. You know, like to fire up a boiler to go somewhere, you could just hop on a horse still. Like in the advent of cars, when people with horses would be saying, "Get a horse," you know, because their automobiles would break down. So we wanted a good nod to steampunk, but we still wanted it to be. We wanted it to be different. We didn't want it to just look just like classic steampunk stories. And as it progresses, the whole Steam Patriots world will
unfold a lot more.
Yeah, and
well, as a history buff, I can't wait to read it. I love history.
Yeah, this is one of those things. Way back when Tim interviewed me about doing research for this story. It's one of those things like you can have a. This is just one stack of research to start, and just like anybody who writes, you know that you have 10 million pages of notes that'll get distilled down to 24 pages of comic book, and you can't include it all. So we had to pick. We started with the broad events of the course of history, and we tried to find little bits of history that were lesser known but
fit in well and added to the story. Yeah, and anything that we could just put that slight twist of steampunk into it, just to put that extra flavor in.
And we also didn't want to have our hero like magic school bus flying around the country, you know, showing. So we wanted to try to make it make sense. And the first story arc is not going to encompass a huge amount of time, but it'll be significant. And so we wanted to pick significant events in history, and throw in great action. And I was very happy with the art we got. And then when Dan started out adding colors, my goodness, it got outrageously amazing. He did great stuff with the colors and the lettering, of course. And then Dean happily volunteered to do a variant cover, and
kick-ass cover.
Yes, it's an action hero cover. It's so cool.
Well, I obviously Felix, and I love how clear and focused that is, because you have such a world that it's not our world. So to have us go through this fascinating, rich, well-developed world, this tapestry world you've created with all these, it's populated with actual historical figures, and then you've added all this fanciful material mixed in with it. And I love how it opens. I don't know whose idea was this, but it opens with basically the British are coming kind of announcement, which is really nice. Right. And I love how you don't really know whether the horses, are they mechanical or are they just armored? You don't know, but you don't care because it's real cool.
Yeah.
Right. So I love how immediately from the opening sequence, you're like, okay, I'm in this world. It's completely invented. It's completely escapist. It's fantasy, but it's anchored in historical fiction. And being an American history buff myself, and I love the Revolutionary War period. So is right in my wheelhouse, and enjoyed the heck out of it. And I love the surprises. I don't want to give anything away because I read both of them, but there's some surprises in there about how the plans were, I guess, lost, quote unquote, to this machine that everyone wants.
Right.
I love how that's revealed. The art is really great. I mean, it's unconventional, but in very compelling way. And my hat's off to Sims and to Hozak for their work on that. Just tremendous.
Yeah. And one of the things I liked also about that opening sequence, kind of to your point of you wanted the technology to feel real. One of the first comments someone makes about the ride, he's like, "Oh, he's riding the throttle too hard." Yeah. Kind of like it's not Wunder tech. Like it's real. There's actual mechanics at play.
Yeah, we're trying. Anybody that writes, and when you have a limited amount of space, like a comic book, you want to convey as much information. So we were trying with the dialogue. We want to keep distilling the words down to convey that Felix knows what he's talking about, and he's smart, and that this technology it's gonna break. You can't. I love in the steampunk. I mean, I love steampunk, but it's like sometimes like. We've got a steam-powered jetpack. How are we feeding logs like logs into the Steam Boy? I love Steam Boy. That's a great anime cartoon. I love that movie, but it's sometimes you want to like, okay, that's where you suspend disbelief, and yes, you're in the fantastic, and it's fun.
It feels anchored in a reality that's well thought out. And often our job as comic book creators, and for those listening out there want to create comics, your world that you see in your head is really, if you picture it like an iceberg, you're going to have enough room to give them the tip of the iceberg, but they're going to know whether you're making it up as you go along, like Lost, or whether you're going to be revealing a world that you've well thought out, that has a foundation, that is well built, and you're just teasing people with the tip of the iceberg. And that's definitely what I'm getting from you guys with Steam Patriots.
Thank you. Something I'd love is I would love this to spark interest for people to go look into real history as well. I might be dreaming too big that but I would like people to find out that what happened in August of 1776, what's going on here, and who were these real people, and what did they do. So I mean, maybe it'll spark some interest into real history. I don't want people to think that our book is actual history, so please.
No.
Did you, when you were middle school or maybe a little older, did you ever read a book called Johnny Tremaine?
Oh, yep.
Oh, one of my favorite books. That's what first hooked me on history when I was very young. It's like, this is so cool. I got to read more.
And we got a review from an author named Daniel Corey. He's written a few things for. The title of his series is called Moriarty, and he's a Full Sail grad. So I reached out to him, and he said that it's a sci-fi Johnny Tremaine. I was like, yes, thank you. All right, mission accomplished. That's good. Roland sent me a book actually too. When I got one of the Kickstarters, he sent me a little comics. He put in a book called I'm reading it. It's called April Morning. I've never seen that one, and it's Concord and Lexington in 1775, and it's a fictional boy, and he and his the militia is kind of whipped into a frenzy, and he signs up with his town, and it takes place in that day and night of the shot heard around the world. If you need to review your Schoolhouse Rock of American history.
What if by land, truth by sea?
Yes.
Indeed.
We got Rory had to relaunch, and John Medic, the third, has joined us. Good to see you, man. Hey,
greetings and salutations. I would not miss you on your wonderful evening.
Barb has given us a great description of her inspiration and behind Divinity, and she's got heart and soul into it, and we love it. And I'm so glad Barb's here to talk. And Rory and I have been chatting about inspiration for Steam Patriots and a little bit of the steampunk world. And I gotta give props to you too. At the very outset, when we approached Roland said you got to talk to John, and John helped us formulate the first series and the course it needs to take. So thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Before I went MIA, yes.
Hey,
so still apologies.
no, you gave us some great feedback, and we were able to shave off the extras, and you focused us, so it was great.
You had excellent stuff to begin with. You know, I was a social science major, so history was my emphasis for my bachelor's degree. So I was in that world with you right away. It was phenomenal to read what you originally came up with the concepts, and I can't wait to read the book itself. So
very soon.
Yes, we got in the Facebook chat, Kenzie Sillett. So who's the artist? How can I hire them? Don't know how to commission them. I'm not sure if they're talking about the artist for Steam Patriots or any of the artists we have on staff.
So are you talking Steam Patriots or Divinity or?
That is a question. We have several artists. So Kenzie, are you asking about the artist for Steam Patriots or any one of the members present here?
For Steam Patriots, David Mims did a fantastic job, but then is now MIA for us. So
at least I came back.
No, John, you have been wonderful. David did a fantastic job. I was very pleased, and then I do not know what happened, but right towards the very end of him he got 98% of the work done, and I don't know what happened. So we have somebody lined up for the next who knows how many, the next 3 at least for Silverline. So David Mims, I was very pleased, but I don't know what happened.
That's right. All right. Kinsey said they just clicked on a Facebook story and now they're here. If any of our artists have their commissions open, you can stick around till the end when we go over our socials. Or if you're interested in particular for the artist who did Steam Patriots, that is David Mims.
Yep. Yeah, we've got so many awesome people here too.
As for Divinity, I got a story behind that. When I first got a go-ahead from Roland, he goes, "Yeah, let's do this. Now go out and find a penciler." I'm like, I thought that's what you were going to do, but okay. So I started scrounging around, and I fell down the rabbit hole that is DeviantArt. And about 4 days later, I climbed out of that, and I was like, and I didn't have her. Good luck there. And about that time, I got a private message on Facebook from somebody who'd friended me just a couple of days before. And I opened up the private message, and it's a kid named Alex Sarabia from Chihuahua, Mexico. And he goes, "I'm a huge fan of yours, and it's one of my greatest dreams to one day work with you." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I clicked over into his Facebook page, and I'm like, "Holy crap. Something's awesome." So I texted him back and says, "How about right now?" And that's how I hooked up with Alex. He's fantastic. He's got a crisp, clean style that is right up my alley for what I was looking for. And he's done a fantastic job. And because of the first issue, he's now like getting swamped with work. So now I'm having to be a little patient, waiting for issue 3. He's got issue 2 in the bag, of course, because we're kickstarting it. But now issue 3 is ready to rock and roll with a script. And I'm like, okay, it's like, can you wait a couple of months? I'll wait, okay, because you were so fantastic. I will give you the time. Besides, I got to finish inking Cat and Mouse anyway. So,
and I will echo that. His style, I love it. It's very crisp. It's very but it's a classic comic book look.
Yeah.
But not the stylized people. You know, it's not the superhero physiques and so forth. It's but also he does really great things with just simple expressions. The faces are fantastic, and I like
clean lines. Yeah.
Some of the scenes are a little faster. You know, they're a little quicker, less detailed. But then when the panels with detail are amazing, with Divinity's face and her eyes and stuff, and It's really good. I like that. I love that style.
You know who he reminds me of a little bit, Barb, and you might remember, and some of you other guys might remember, a really great artist named Alan Davis. Do you guys know who that is?
My God, Excalibur, yes.
Mm-hmm. He's
fantastic work.
He's in that wheelhouse. I mean, this kid, he's heading in that direction. So he's
Right after issue 1, Kevin Van Hook, the creator of Bloodshot, stole him away for a little bit of work. It's like, okay, he's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's fantastic. He does a lot of horror work for companies down in Mexico, but he really hasn't broken too much into the American market until now. And he's just I love his style, his clean lines, and it's a classic look.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, John, we didn't.
Yes, sir.
You are here. Why don't you say hello and tell folks who you are?
Greetings, everyone. John Medic, most well known for my self-published book, Sniper and Rook. That is, I love the pipes, guys. Well played. Which is coming back through Silverline.
Yes.
I've got an issue 12 in progress now. That's going to be doing some really cool stuff, and then leading into all kinds of fun and tomfoolery in the Silverline world.
Yes. Oh, you say okay. Rory and I are just, and I try to express this every time we're on Wednesday nights. I'm surrounded by greatness. You guys are doing awesome stuff, and when you say you got number 12, or when I look, especially the writer's side, when guys have a whole story, it's out there, it's readable. I'm so jealous because I just want everybody to read. Like I've got both of us. We have so many ideas, and in the Steam Patriots world. And we talked with Dean too. Dean's got ideas, and we got ideas of stuff going off this way and this way. And like the whole world, I want it to be out there. And so when you say 12 issues, it's so cool to.
And
to have...
you're on the cusp of the addiction. Okay, so I'm not talking like blow or crystal meth or any of those things.
Yeah, because there is no 12-step program for this.
No, not at all. The minute you get in your hands your first printed work, that is going to be when you're like, oh my God, I want this again and again and again.
It's real.
And along with that, this is a good addiction to have because no diseases, no bad teeth because of it. Hopefully no possible death unless you're carrying a box of books and it crunches on you during a con or something. I've always made the joke, some people like gamble their money away, some people drink their money away, some people do drugs their money away. I print comic books, so much safer.
Yeah.
We can't disclaim insanity though, because that's a possibility.
Yeah,
I think it's a prereq for some.
A little. What's that, Tim?
I think it's a prereq for some.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Yeah, but... a little differently.
Well, I actually need to run, guys. I'm sorry.
Getting started. But we haven't delved into the ocean of Brent Larson yet.
For so long, I'm like, has it already come out and I missed it? How is that? How did you guys all read it? And now I know it's because you're part of a giant clique of which I'm not a part. So screw all of you. No, I'm kidding. So I can't wait to read it. It just sounds pretty freaking amazing.
Hey, but you know what? I heard you've written some stories too. You've penned a few tales. Where can I find that? If I wanted to read from the mind of Brent Larson,
where would you? I thought you worked for Silverline. No, you're asking for the general public. I see.
Yes.
Well, you would go to Silverline's website, right?
Or you can also get it on the add-ons on our Kickstarter.
Oh my!
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Well,
that Kickstarter.
There it is.
Had every available Silverline title, and I recommend at least 10 or 12 copies
each.
Yeah. So
you can add them on.
Kalis can. Yes. Oh, they can go to silverlinecomics.com. It'll kick you over to Indie Planet, and they can order as many Brent Larson originals as they want.
Well, yeah, there's only 2, but
Hey, that's more than we
That's
got.
like 200% more than us. All right.
yeah, and it's cool. It's an add-on on the Kickstarter. I'm very excited for your success. Just knowing that it may brush off on me and give me more stuff, which in my mind it's really all about.
We all inspire each other here. That's why we're here.
Unicorn Fairy
Yeah.
Rest.
Yeah. So when did you say when it's happening? The Kickstarter? Or is this a secret?
I think our viewers know that our diehard fans know that tomorrow it's launching. Tomorrow's the official launch, but if folks stay tuned, we might have some information for our real super fans. All right.
Well, I really wish I could.
You'll be asleep. We'll have someone come knock on your door.
Yes.
Brent, wake up!
It's time.
What time is it? Oh my gosh, the Kickstarter! Yes. Well,
now that's a promo video.
All right,
Yeah.
Brent, thank you.
But congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
I'll see you next week.
All right. Later, dude.
Bye.
Bye.
I think I'm gonna head out too.
Unacceptable. All right.
Well,
Tell
before-
everybody that they can find your.
Before you do, you are working on a book now too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why don't you a little
Please.
bit about it?
A teaser.
Yeah, about Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's written by Roland Mann, and I'm doing pencils, inks, colors, all the illustration for that. And it is a sort of like Winnie the Pooh, Toy Story kind of world. Like there's these stuffed animals and toys that live like in a a forest woods kind of place. And then the main character Bear, who's a bear. He was really close with the kid who has now disappeared, and people are saying he's dead, and some of the animals are like freaking out, some of them are like, yay, we're free. So it's kind of them figuring out what to do next.
Silverline has something for everyone and pretty much every age group.
Genre spanning publisher. Yes.
That's right.
And Haley, you also have your own story that's out there as well. They can find that where?
It's called Heroic Shenanigans. So
Yes.
This is also an all ages superhero summer camp comic. And so it is at heroicshenanigans.com, and it's also on Webtoons.
Yes.
I didn't know you had a physical copy of it now.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Going too soon, hopefully.
Hey, and folks can hire you too, right? They can reach out to you and hire you for artwork, right?
Yeah, I'm Haley Martin Art on Instagram, and then HaleyMartinArt@gmail.com. You can email
Yes.
me
Cool.
submissions or whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
And congrats on the finished books.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you next time. And everybody out there, Heroic Shenanigans, go search for those and support Haley. All right, thanks, Haley.
Bye.
Right.
We are. Let's see. We got 1, 2. Oh, we're heavy on the writers here tonight, aren't we? Well, Barb does everything. She creates stories and brings them to life. It's very cool.
I don't pencil.
I know.
Much.
Ooh, she threw in the much.
They have an English accent, though. I'm just a pencil.
No, she inks and she colors and she can pencil a little, right? And she's very jack of all trades with the art world. It's awesome. Tell us some of the titles you've worked on for folks that might not know you. Some of across the genres.
Spectrum?
Yeah.
Well, way back when in the Stone Age, I started in 1989 working for Adventure Comics, and I did Planet of the Apes, and that was my big break. I did 11 issues of that.
I came across actually one of those in the store the other day, Barb, and I never knew that was you on there because I looked at it and I'm like, oh, I remember when that was a variant cover with the different color strips on the side. And then I'm looking, I'm like, Barb! Yeah, so that was so cool. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, and that got me in with Malibu, and I did a lot of their titles, filled in for pretty much every single title they had. But I did all the entire run of Solitaire, and from while I was still working for them, I picked up work for Innovation, where I worked on um, Lost in Space and a bunch of movie adaptation of horror movies. I was working for Now Comics on Green Hornet.
Really?
Yeah. And I did the Speed Racer VHS box covers.
What?
What?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's
and
so cool.
got hired by DC, and I did and on all the issues of Primal Force. And actually, the cool little aside there, the character of Meridian was a new character. They brought in all these old B and C list characters from DC and threw them onto a team, but they created one new character, and that was the female character. And one of my friends was the penciler. In fact, he penciled pinup piece for the upcoming Kickstarter. He had the character designs, so when he sketched out Meridian, he used me as the model. So I bet Meridian looks like me.
Cool.
So Barb is in fact a DC superhero.
Yes, I am Meridian.
Immortalized forever.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
And I've done some Green Lantern, some Superboy, but I spent 2.5 years on Impulse for DC. And while I was doing that, I was also working over at Marvel on a bunch of Barbie comic books, because that's pretty much all they would hire me for, because I'm a girl. And if I wasn't doing Barbie for Marvel, it was something other girlish like Gargoyles or She-Hulk. So yeah.
So you were doing Impulse and Barbie at the same time?
Yep.
Okay,
Sure was.
and Impulse was Ethan?
It started out, I spent 2 years on Craig Rousseau, and Bill Messner-Loebs was writing. And then they retired that art team and brought in a whole new art team. And about few issues in, they got behind, and they asked me to come back for 6 months and ink over Ethan, which I did. And it was different styles, that's for sure, between
that's what I
Craig
was saying.
Rousseau and
It's
Ethan
really-
and Skyver.
More than capable than Barbie.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the different styles that I've worked on. One of my favorites was apart from Dean Zachary over there on Nightman, was Mel Ruby and Howard Porter. It was a couple of my favorite pencilers as well that I've worked with. I did Hawkman over. He was very, very cool.
That's
Mel Ruby did one of my favorite Punisher covers ever. And I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, I need to get him to draw for me one of these days. I still haven't accomplished that yet. But yeah, it stands out in my mind. I hear his name, I picture that cover.
Well, he did a Divinity cover for Divinity 1 for me.
Oh.
You have the end.
Maybe I could parlay our friendship, and you could drop a note for him to see if I could maybe do something for me.
I can provide you with his email address.
If you wouldn't mind, that'd be awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
The worst he could say is no.
I can hook you up.
Look at John just turning red. He's all giddy.
Meanwhile, in the chats, on YouTube, someone aggressively yells "Steam Patriots." On Facebook, someone says, "Hey fellas, happy Wednesday." It's actually Amy Stephanie. And on YouTube again, what historical research went into Steam Patriots, steampunk aside? We kind of already touched on this, but maybe a little more detail. And how close did you try to stay to true events?
All right. Shall I, Rory? Yeah. Okay. Well, how much historical research? Mountains, mountains and mountains. But I had.
I would wish the Navigation Acts of 1775 on no one.
Rory's off getting obscure facts. We actually a lot of research, but then I just had to narrow it down. I had to pick one. What I ended up doing, what we ended up doing, is we picked from 1776 to 17. Well, it depends on how long the story goes. I don't. Silverline. I don't want to give it away where we go, but we picked key events. So, and that's my writing style. When I write, I try to write the beginning. I write the end. I write the big act breaks, and then
what are the cool things that get you to each?
Yeah, and then we try to make it make sense. And honestly, Roy and I came up with this idea 10 years ago, so it's changed the scope and the ideas, and then we try to find little nuggets of interesting history, like obscure little bits to follow that route.
Right. The more you research it, the more smaller characters you find in history that you really think should have a larger role because of something so small and unique, but so providential to the whole story.
Yeah.
So we tried to highlight some of that.
So to answer the question of how much research do we do, a lot, and
years worth.
And I'd have 50,000 tabs open on my browser. I'd have books
crash.
Yeah, lots and lots of books with highlights, and then a lot of it came down really just to I made an Excel spreadsheet and just started doing a timeline because that kind of guided the plot.
Yes.
Where we could go next, and then the other part of the question was how true did we stay to it? Is that what
yes?
Part of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We really did. We wanted to stay true to the real people. I've been hashtagging Battle of Long Island. I don't think it's gone viral yet. I don't think it's trending. But
Great conflagration.
August of 1776 is when the British. The Old War is so funny. It's so odd. Like there's a lot of waiting. They wait and wait and wait, and they stare at each other. There was like at the time it was so cool. There's like over 300 ships in New York Harbor, just there. And George Washington knew it, and the British were there, and nobody knew what they were going to do. And then in late August of 76, the British come ashore on Long Island. So we wanted to start there. And we wanted to stay true to that. And we wanted to follow real history. But like I said, our hero, Felix, isn't always going to be at the big battle of. Right. He's going to be off and maybe doing something else ancillary to it. And in a clever way, so he does cool things, but also there's the real history is not changing.
Yep, and that's also being someone who's also writing a historical fiction piece. That's really convenient because then you don't have someone writing like, well, actually, the cavalry flanked at this hour.
Yes. And I had a little you do these little panics because some of the art is already done up. For instance, our artist put in pocket watches. There's like a scene where there's like a couple of them, and I had this panic was the pocket watch invented in 17? Was there actual pocket watches? Yes, they were like 1630. So we got plenty of time for pocket watches, but I don't. Rory and I had a debate over beards, because if you watch Turn's a great show.
Yeah.
A lot of beards. Beards were actually not in vogue, the faction at the time. So we wondered because one of our artists, we've had a couple people do some spec art. One guy he did like the total steampunk mustaches. That classic. I was like, I don't want to be super nitpicky. Well, I do. I'm very nitpicky.
I don't know if that's necessarily nitpicky though. That's actually a indicative of the time of Victorian age, and if that's not what you're trying to portray, that
right,
makes
but
sense.
In the 1770s, facial hair was not
right. No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Saying no is not really nitpicky. It's kind of.
Yeah, I have to balance because I can go we had another artist show. We didn't ask for it, but he made airships, and those might come later, but we didn't want airships just yet. But it was cool, really cool. But in my nautical knowledge, he had airships with the sails billowing this way and flags flying this way, and it's like one of those I get really nitpicky. The flag should be flying with the. That's
just logic. That's not.
Come on,
that's just how wind works.
Yeah, everyone knows that, but yeah, you can get really nitpicky, and but it's also fun too when you let the artists have a little bit of free reign. I love it.
Absolutely,
we got some cool stuff, and I was cool. I didn't imagine it like that, but he imagined it way better than I did.
Yeah.
And then
Dean.
Dean's Dean's cover, folks. I want to keep that cover is going to be a variant option. Dean's cover is so cool. I just love it. It's the
that's
action.
Getting framed when it comes out.
And when he I was looking, so Dean sent it to me, and I was blown away by I'm straight the whole thing and then when I started looking at the details, it's is that electricity going up the flagpole? That is so awesome, Dean. You're a genius. so cool. Yeah, Dean, I gave Dean a little bit of like, I want these things in it, and this is the idea, and Dean was just like, yeah, I'm gonna.
Well, I felt like I went a little crazy with the Leyden jar electrical machine, but then I went, wait a minute, this is fantasy. I'm just gonna go off the edge here. I'm just gonna put more than you can possibly expect.
Well, you're the one talking about Spawn, right? About how he said just go. It makes no sense, but it's friggin' awesome.
Well, that's one of my favorite go-tos. When I think all of us, those of you who create, who are listening tonight, there's an editor in all of us that's almost a killjoy in a way. That's like, well, that wouldn't work. Well, that couldn't happen. Well, that could. And I always silence that editor in my own mind by remembering Todd McFarlane's comment about Spawn's costume and saying, well, it doesn't matter. He designed it because it looked cool.
It looked cool. Yeah.
Right?
It looks
and
cool.
so it's the most one of the most enduring independent character costumes, arguably, in comics. And I'll jump back even further. My humble opinion, the coolest costume in comics is the original Spider-Man costume, right? And it makes no sense if you think about it. It's like Spider, red and blue.
Right.
There's a web there, and those eyes, and then all of a sudden you go, but it looks so cool.
Yep. Yeah. Really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there you go. You step back at the coolness factor sells it. And so I went there with all the gears and all the crazy Leyden jars
so cool.
spinning on wheels. And, so
it's awesome. Hey, we blew past the midway point because we're just chatting. We've got so much to say. I want to remind folks, Daytona Beach Comic Book Convention is sponsoring Silverline, so we thank them very much for that. September 18th and 19th. Go over to their Facebook page. Make sure you like and follow and subscribe, and you know what the deal is. So you get all the updates. We have also been lovingly and kindly supported and sponsored by historycamp.org. They have an upcoming online history convention where all the smarty pantses of the history world are going to give chats on the online July 10th. So go to historycamp.org and sign up for their email updates, and you can register for that. So we thank them. We're talking Divinity. We got Barb joining the fun here Wednesday night. Barb's normally on the Sunday night show, Silver Sunday, and her Divinity number 2 is coming out very soon, which is so exciting. If you have not read Divinity number 1, you'll be able to grab a copy of that on Silverline's Kickstarter and or silverlinecomics.com, and you can grab that awesome story. Number 1 creates a great story world. We have relatable characters, young girl with superpowers that people of course want to exploit, and there's baddies in the story, and that you feel compelled to root for, of course, the heroes, and she did a great job telling that story. And art is beautiful, the art is amazing, and it is action-packed. It is a great it's not for the youngest readers, but it's not gratuitous violence. It's got some action that's that makes
There's
for a
a
great
smidge of gratuitous violence in there.
Oh, okay. Smidge of gratuitous.
Just enough to whet your appetite.
Yeah. I mean, he's a Marine, I'm a military mom, by the way.
Yeah.
From a soldier son who's been in for 16 years. So I've got a little bit of a immersement into the military mindset.
Yep. Yeah. You don't always want to.
You're in good company.
Yeah, as a loved one, you don't always hear the stories. Like, I don't need to. Yeah, my brother was infantry in Afghanistan too, and so he's got some stories. He doesn't tell some stories around Mom. So Mom, if you're listening, don't ask him for his stories.
the one time Afghani security set off a mortar inside the operating base.
Yeah. Well, when he got sent to his first in theater, he's been in theater 5 times, and 3 other ones that were, non-combat zones. But first time he went in theater, we had a code worked out so that he could actually write me or email me and I would know that if he'd seen action or not. So it didn't bother me all that much because I didn't find out about the worst parts of it until after he came back. But then I knew when that he was going into something, and after that, I kind of had a better idea. But when he went to Afghanistan, that was worse than Iraq.
Oh yeah,
by far.
Yeah.
Because then he was in a big bowl, and the insurgents would be up in the mountains just lobbing stuff down
yeah.
on him. But he was still safer than the Marines or the Army because he was Air Force.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
but it's a lifestyle.
Yep. Yeah. People don't know that Coast Guard cutters are over in the Persian Gulf, and there was just a story that Iranian small boats were harassing a Coast Guard cutter, and they had to fire warning shots. So Rory, here's your history lesson. This is from us history nerds. A Coast Guard vessel actually was a steamboat service vessel. And
Harriet Lane.
Harriet Lane fired the first shot of the Civil War. So there's your history lesson. But so Rory's like, oh great, a Coast Guard cutter is gonna kick off another
World War III.
Great, and I ran. But it's one of those stories where you're like, what? But yeah, they do also like as a coastie, do some research on what they do overseas because it's like
you wouldn't ever expect it.
Yeah, but all the branches have like that stuff like well they're doing what and amazing stuff. But yeah, Barb, it's cool you get that insight into the mind of someone in the military.
Well, my dad's a vet too. He was Army, and he was so super into World War II history.
Oh yeah.
By the time I was 7, I could tell you what the Brandenburg Gate was.
Nice.
Yeah. My grandfather was World War II Navy, and so we had tons of stories from him, and you know how it goes, family. When you were a war vet, like so, he had for his time it was VHS. He had all the history cassettes of every Navy, everything.
Ship battle.
Yeah, so but we had some great stories. It's interesting too how some of the older vets, the stories don't come out for a long time.
Yeah.
No.
But Barb, you've done a great job of creating a character. We talked about this a little earlier about how he's a way older brother, has no idea what to do with his 11-year-old sister. He's been plucked out of the Marine Corps. Was not his plan, and so he's right at the beginning, kind of a butthead. Not a total jerk, but you're like,
no, he's a butthead. Yeah,
okay,
you're right. He's a jarhead who's stuck with a little girl. I mean,
yeah,
talk about fish on land.
Right.
Okay, and I have been notified by the illustrious Roland Mann that a certain project
What
is now live.
Oh,
I gotta go look.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Run to your
you are seeing this right now, folks. You are the first to hear, folks. You're the first to see that Divinity #2 and Steam Patriots #1 are live on Kickstarter right now. I'm reluctant to send people away from our show over to Kickstarter, so if you can open 2 browsers, keep an eye on.
I do.
But I'll wait. I'll wait.
I'm looking at both.
You keep waiting. All right, if you're gonna go over to Kickstarter, I don't know what the URL is right now. I'm not gonna go look right now, but you could probably. I don't know if you can search.
Yep.
Actually,
If you go to Kickstarter and search Silverline Double Feature or Divinity or Steam Patriots, it should show up.
Hey, while you're doing that, does the old Steam Patriots campaign come up, or does the new one come up first?
It comes up.
Okay.
I saw it.
Could bring up a lot of different things too. There's
True.
apparently a video game out.
Divinity #1 through 2.
Okay.
Yep.
I typed in Divinity 2 and it came up.
Oh, good.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. We'll probably work on that'll be over on Silverline Comics. We'll put that URL there. I will have the URL on steampatriots.us. We'll be sharing that on Silverline on Facebook. I'm sure it'll be out on Instagram, and even LinkedIn. Who I don't know, does Roland manage that account? But we've got some folks doing all of our socials, and he's been doing a great job. I think if he's doing all the work that I think he's been doing, we've been really blasting out on the socials. It's been great stuff.
Somebody's already backed.
Holy moly!
Who's ahead of the game?
And
super fan.
I don't know, but the first two covers that come up are both of Dean's covers.
Yes, it's so great. Dean, man, you killed it. We love it.
You can't quit now.
We've locked Dean in.
Yeah,
all covers for everybody.
Yes. So those we've got all the rewards. If folks, if you don't know how Kickstarter works, well, first of all, Silverline uses Kickstarter to kickstart our titles, and we put all of our new titles out there so it can get a bit of a groundswell. And you're just ordering because they are done.
It's completed. It's just a pre-order. Yeah.
Yep, you're just a pre-order. So, and when I say done, there's a few little jots and tittles to take care of. You can see we have another Steam Patriots variant cover in the works. Jackson Rennick is doing that. He jumped on right at the last minute, so thank you, Jackson. So you'll see his kind of his pre-sketch, his planning sketch, but it looks really cool. It's like there's a soldier chasing Felix, and Felix, of course, looks frightened. And not as badass as Dean's. He's like, I just blew everything up.
No, you never look back and explode.
You don't look back. But Jackson went the route of Felix being a little frightened by whatever's going on. And Barb's got all the friends. She's got all the friends just making cool variant stuff, and you can get.
They've been around for 30 plus years,
Barb, send some of your friends our way. Don't warn them all. So Barb's got some great exclusive artwork that you can buy too, and that's what I love about our Kickstarter campaigns and being an indie publisher, is we have all this cool exclusive stuff that you can grab, and for Steam Patriots that Dean and Tommy cover, and we got Mickey's name on the Mickey's colors should be coming soon. So when I say done, they're done. They're pretty much ready to print, but we've got little extras that we're working on. And once you back the campaign, you'll get the notifications. Roland has been awesome about keeping people updated. And we love to get those stretch goals. So if we hit our goal, you'll get all the extras. There will be more extras, extras. A little bit of gratuitous extras to, I guess, to quote Barb there, and so again, I'm super excited, but I'm reluctant to send people away from our stream here. So, Rory, say something. Dean, say something. C. Michael.
Quick on the chat. John Rowe says, "I backed it up because my daddy taught me. My daddy taught me good."
Yay! Thank you.
Awesome.
Anyone else get that reference? Anyone?
Yep.
Backing up. Okay, all right, John. Well done, John.
And we also just got sent in. I'm going to put up on the screen real quick. The actual physical item, the cover done by Dean Zachary. We got the actual physical now also on display on the stream.
Yes. Oh, and I'm sorry. Also, Roland makes the Kickstarter unique because this is the time you can grab the double feature. So right now, when you buy the comic book, you're getting Divinity like so, and you through Divinity because the story's so awesome, and you're like, I don't want it to end, but oh my goodness, what's on the other side? And you flip it over, and you read through Steam Patriots. So it's a double feature. They're a flip book, and that's a Kickstarter thing. This is going to be the time you can get that. So 10 years from now, when they're going to be worth $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 because you got the Kickstarter exclusive flip book. And then if you are a retailer out there, or if you know a retailer, if you've got your favorite comic book shop, send them over to the campaign because they can order bundles to put on the shelves, and we can put their logo on there for them. The details are on there for that. So that's really cool. That's a unique option. So they'll have it'll be their shop's version of Divinity or Steam Patriots. So That's a cool option, and there's lots of extras. And like I said, when we hit our goals, we'll be opening up some more add-ons and goodies. And the add-ons, stretch goals. The add-ons are you can grab any title. So when you back it at a certain level, you can then go through and do the add-ons. So read through, make sure you see what all the options are. There's lots of cool stuff.
Now, all the original art is in the add-on section.
Yes.
Just to be clear.
And yeah, those you'll see that those are limited to like one of one. You're getting the original. So those are some of those are limited. And right now, I'm not looking at it right now, but if somebody's got it open, the early bird is limited as well, right?
Yes.
So
right.
Those will go away as soon as they're snatched up. So that to hop on there, you save a couple bucks, you get the same.
We're up to
amount of-
3 backers.
Woo woo!
Amazing.
All right,
You guys rock.
Thanks everybody. Hey, and of course, share that. Click that link, share it out there. Tell all your buddies, and ready to grab some cool stories. And I can't stress enough too. We've got so many great stories from Silverline.
Yeah.
Right there on the Kickstarter campaign and on SilverlineComics.com. There are so many cool stories in the story world. Our story worlds keep growing, and I would really recommend grabbing titles you haven't read yet, because those worlds are going to keep growing, and we're going to keep expanding our offering here. It's so cool.
Right, we have so many storylines in the barrel.
Oh yeah,
ready to go.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And Roland, I think Roland wants to explode with all the stories.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how we're going to handle it when we get a few more titles added to the, because we barely can cram all the titles we've got in 2 books every 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll happen. This is
I think the next step might just be taking it up to the shops, because we're getting so busy. We have so much coming down the pipeline. It's just great. It's awesome.
It is. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Yep. Considering that Silverline 3.0, Roland, Dean, and myself, this is a pretty amazing thing to see.
Yeah.
And like I said before, everything's been backed. I mean,
It's all successfully, yeah. So it's no because sometimes with crowdfunding, you're kind of speculating. It's kind of a gamble. You might not get what you ordered, or you might not get, but these are already that's Roland's I don't know if it's rule number 1. Rule number 1 is probably make great stories. But then
it's cruelty free, fair trade.
Yeah.
And we've had some really good reviews, out there from people who say it's a great, dependable company. It's up and coming. It's they good quality products. So it's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Roland's been great about bringing on. I sound like I'm like tooting my horn, but like everybody, the whole team, the whole
great editorial staff.
Great accounting.
Awesome art too. I always feel like the artists see Michael and Haley are off their own little world there. We sometimes say their name. They look,
what me?
He's smiling. Yeah.
There he is, he's waving as he draws.
Dean's over there. Dean's bad. Dean, we haven't, I think, in a long time talked about what you have worked on too, as well. So I'd love to hear, because I don't know all of your titles. You don't need to list all of them, because I know you got
we wouldn't have time.
Quite the resume.
Yes.
What are some of your favorites?
High points, sure. Early '90s material started with Malibu and the Ferret, which had the unique privilege of being the first official die-cut #1 comic book superhero cover, and it's still out there being bandied about. I see it pop up every now and then. I actually still have that original art.
I'm sorry, what is the die cut?
Well, it was a die cut cover in which the printer actually conformed to the image of the face of the main character on the cover, right? And so the way I drew it was it fit roughly the face of the Ferret character roughly fit into the format of the rectangular shape of a comic book cover. And so they went in and literally cut the edges to fit. And so the entire comic book has that edged shape to it, which is
cool.
unique.
That's
yeah, it's
very cool.
very unique approach. So I went from the Ferret to the Nightman, where I got to work with Barb and you know, cool writers and got a lot of experience just learning the business at Malibu. And then that led to DC, where I got a shot drawing Green Lantern in a wonderful Elseworlds story. That was fun. And then that led to things like Superboy. And then the big break for me was getting to draw Batman, which was great. That was a one shot and it included Nightwing. So that was fun. And then that led to things like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and getting to draw Wonder Woman. And there's a lot of things in there that were just one shots here and there, like Johnny Quest, which was fun.
Ooh, yeah.
I want to hear about that one.
Yeah. That was very cool because I was a fan as a kid, and it was nice. You know, Dark Horse at the time had the license for that, and so Dark Horse had a lot of film license. You remember that, Barb? They were like where you went to do, like, you know, film and TV stuff.
Oh yeah, they had all the licenses. I mean, Innovation had a few, and Now had a few, but mostly it was Dark Horse.
They had Star Wars. They had Terminator. They had
Predator.
They didn't have
Aliens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything Disney has now.
Yeah, everything Disney has now. But
yeah, they had like Predator and Aliens, whereas Child's Play and Freddy's Dead.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've seen Firefly, I think, is Dark Horse too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. One of the coolest things about working in those years was it was a small community of creators, and when you went to a convention in the 90s, it really was more like a club of peers that all knew each other for the most part, and if you networked and you met the editors, you know, and you played the game well, you knew that you would probably get work from going to San Diego or some of the bigger shows. And as I've said in previous storytelling sessions, it was nice to know that if you put the effort out there and you went to San Diego or Chicago or Atlanta or even Charlotte, some say Emerald City was a great show too at the time, you would network and you would get a gig from going to those shows, and there was also a sense of loyalty to the creators, where, you know, you'd be on a book for a while. If you got assigned a book, you might be there for a year. You know, I mean, nowadays that's unheard of. Nowadays you get a fill-in, you may get a 4-issue. But in those days, you were on the book until they said no more, and it could be 12 issues. It could be 10. It could, you know, did you feel that sort of loyalty there, Barb, or was it just cutthroat all the way?
No, I had some really nice long runs with several titles, and I had a couple of editors at DC that were extremely loyal to me, and it wasn't until the big implosion and those editors were let go from DC that I stopped getting a lot of work, because I mean, I was a workhorse. I never missed a deadline, and they knew that they could count on me, and they always kept me in work. But when they went, I went, and they brought in the new editors brought in their own stable of favorites, and I wasn't one.
Well, you know, but the nice thing about that is we cut our teeth during a time when comics were going through the roof, but in a different way than they are now. It was the era of the death of Superman, and it was the era of Batman's back getting broken, right? And so you had all these like huge events, and it just seemed like there was a new company popping up every other year, and you know, it was a boom. And then, of course, you know, like all speculative booms, it crashes and so on. But I would say that now it's almost like I feel like we're having a second boom but it's bigger in that it's unlimited by the previous limitations of geography or network or technology. I mean, now it's a worldwide market, and we're wide. It's wide open for independent creators, and there's not this feeling of gatekeeping politics that have to be played really. And the big two aren't the only game in town anymore, you know?
Yeah,
And
the
so,
Silverline is spread all over across the entire United States
Oh.
and Mexico.
Yep. We've
Right.
I'd say we've
And
had a weekly show and kind of turned into a staff meeting afterwards with people coming in from Europe, if you're Peter Clinton, Mexico, South America, not in Asia or Africa yet, but if someone sends in the right pitch, maybe.
give us time. We'll have, yeah.
we'll have that. So that being
Silverline
said, you know, now it just seems like it's even more exciting than it was then, because it's limitless. There are no limitations on us anymore.
Yeah.
So now's the time to get into Silverline, guys. I mean, jump in now, and because it's just going to keep getting bigger and better, and the most, you know, I mean, we're going to have a stable that just blows everyone away here if it keeps growing like it's growing now.
Mhm. I agree.
So, you know,
Not to be a downer, do you think that with this just expansive freedom now, that a lot of stories would overlap, or there would be a redundancy of stories or genres? And how do we do it better? How are we the best at those stories?
Well,
I'm
there's
glad
an
you asked
old,
that.
yeah, just a second. There's an old thing that every story has already been told.
Right.
Okay. But it's in the telling.
That's excellent observation, and I would add to that one of my often heard mottos, which is creativity is beyond calculation. What we have to do as creators here at Silverline is we have to silence that editor in our heads that tries to calculate a target market or demographic. Just get that out of your head. If you think it's cool, do it, because chances are other people will think it's cool, and it'll be more genuine, and it'll be real, and it'll be distinct, because it'll be you. And it's not you trying to be this person or that person, or it's not you trying to copy this character or that character. It's just you. And that's what's going to resonate with people. I think calculation is destroying comics in many ways because of this desperation of business people who just want the next hit. You know, we just it's got to sell this many copies or what have you. And we're not immune from the marketplace. I mean, we play in that marketplace, but the one thing we do have control over is how we create. And I'm just telling you right now, I've seen it happen over and over again, from the advertising field to the comic field. If you calculate, they can see the strings and the mirrors and the smoke, and it doesn't smell genuine. It smells like you're trying to pander. So do what you love, and other people will love it too. So that's my rant for the night.
I had a
Thank you.
conversation with a friend, and I won't say who it was because I'm not going to name drop. But I had a conversation a couple of days ago, and it was just how are you doing? Blah blah blah. And then he goes, I see you've got a book out. I go, you know about that? And I says, I had no idea that you would even have heard of it. It's not very widely distributed. He goes, of course I've heard about it. I said, well, it's just a tiny book so far, but it's picking up steam. He says, I'm trying really hard. And he goes, well, that's better than 99% of everybody else. You've got 1% that have actually got that goes for it, and just gets it out there. And that's the hardest part, is just to go and get it out there.
You're right. It's that confidence to be vulnerable. All the arts have that in common, whether it's performance art, whether it's the type of art that we're doing, but it's that confidence to just go out there and do it. You know, there are going to be people who don't like it. There are going to be people who like it. That's going to always be there. And if you're true to that, if you're true to your inner muse, so to speak, and your instincts, it will find a market. And honestly, if it's a hit or not a hit, like if you're a millionaire or not a millionaire, that's incalculable. But what you need is a market that allows you, I should say, to do this for a living. Wouldn't that be cool? Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you calculate how much you need to sell to make your dream life come true and go for that. You know, if it's selling X amount or selling 1 million copies, you know, whatever you need, but it's out there. The people are out there. And like Tim was saying, you know, the market to Asia, who knows, you know?
I think you just summed up all of Tim's Instagram.
Nice. Well, Tim and I do think alike, which is kind of scary.
Yes. Although we're in different styles of martial art, where I do kickboxing, you do Shotokan and sport karate. So post-pandemic at a convention, we'll have to set up a cage match with you, myself, and Curtis.
Fantastic.
Just to echo, you saying, Dean, get it out there is get it done too. If you got a story, that's Steam Patriots came from the kernel of our idea, Rory and me, and I muscled through a National Novel Writers Month that I thought I would turn it into a novel. And then Rory and I took that because it was done beginning to end, and it doesn't look much like what that novel was.
Mhm.
But we had a product that we then refined and changed and polished and adjusted, and here we are. So get it done. Get a beginning, get an end.
Be the 1% that just goes out and does it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that every turd can be polished into a stone, but you got to get the turd out first.
You gotta get the
Wow. I'm eating. Thank you. Words of wisdom from Tim TK.
I feel like we need to end on that.
That's not what TK said.
Much wisdom.
That might be. Wow, can you do like hashtag polished turd?
Yeah.
Take us out, Swake. Take us out.
I don't know how to end on that. Hey, we're coming over to the end, 11 o'clock here Eastern time, and we've been talking Divinity #2 and Steam Patriots #1, and it's been a blast. I love that Barb has joined the show and been able to talk about her inspiration and her process, and we're getting a little bit of wisdom from everybody here. I know time-wise, John's trying to get his dinner in and rear his son to be a good member of society. And
actually, he's the one who cooked the dinner tonight.
Yes,
yes,
you are doing a great job, John.
It is excellent. He did a great job.
Good job. So good job, guys out there. And see, Michael, what are you working on right now? I'm sorry, you mentioned it earlier. Did he?
Is he? Oh, what? See, Mike.
I've got some stuff in the wings working on. So some stuff I can't talk about.
Okay, all right.
Top secret.
You got titles coming up, so always working. We're all trying to make Silverline a success and make our other titles and our creations be something great that you can enjoy, and we love doing it. And we would not be doing it if it weren't for all of you out there. So we thank our sponsors, historycamp.org and Daytona Beach Comic Book Convention. We encourage all of you to go check out their websites, sign up for their email notifications, like, follow, subscribe, all of those guys, because they help us make this happen as well. And we love working together. We love lifting each other up to be successful. And as an indie publisher, we're making some great stuff, some great stories that are different. And we make stories that appeal to so many different audiences, and just represented in this the group tonight that we've got such a great span. We've got John's action espionage story, right? And we've got Tim's historic espionage story and intrigue, and C. Michael's art there, and we've got history, and Dean's got his titles coming out too. Very cool, Dean, writing and drawing, and Barb's very awesome, real and kind of moving story that we're not even well. We're gonna hit the halfway point here, and we know you'll love it. So before we go, I don't want to. Again, I feel like I talked over everybody. I hope I didn't leave anybody wanting. Anybody parting thoughts before we go?
Bye.
Barb sums it up. So, folks, real quick, Tim Agro Bacon there. Are you going to be twitching anytime soon?
I'm going to be twitching after I stuff a burrito on my face, and I will also be back at it Saturday and Sunday morning.
All right, and Barb's got her title number 2 there on Divinity number 2 right now on Kickstarter. Go over there and support that, so you can grab a copy of that. And number 1, you can grab that on the Kickstarter campaign. Tim Michael's got about 207,000 titles coming. He works with 2 hands. I know he's sort of doing one over here.
He doesn't sleep.
While also hosting a podcast at the same time.
Well, I did have one thing that just came out.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
And I just opened that. I was gonna tag you. It came today in the mail. So
I
yes.
cheated. I read his. I didn't buy it yet. I'll buy it.
Yeah, Rory's here with me in New York, and expect hopefully some craziness from us to promote our story. And Sniper and Rook's coming from John Medic to the Silverline lineup, and anything that they can do right now. What can they grab? Anything right now?
Actually, up on, as you were saying earlier, silverlinecomics.com with the link to Indie Planet, there is a exclusive Silverline printing of Sniper and Rook number 1 readily available. So thank you.
Yes, awesome. And Dean's got titles in the works. Dean's also arting and writing left and right. So anything you want to plug right now, Dean?
Sure. Just keep an eye on covers for some of these excellent titles that are being created, but also look for Silverblade. Probably be seeing a little. Oh, there's something coming out at the end of the year that I'm not going to reveal. Cool. So there is a due date on it. So
Dean's such a tease. He puts these little slices of his art out. We see like a face over here, and it's good stuff. So we love it. Hey, Silverline is at Silverline on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you're following us, because we tease lots of good stuff upcoming and news. We will keep you updated on the campaigns as they progress, as this one progresses. And the moment we say goodnight, we want you to head over to Kickstarter.com and support Divinity number 2, Steam Patriots number 1, and in whatever fashion you can. So we appreciate all of you.
We're up to 9 backers, $448.
Incredible.
All right.
All
right. Thanks, everybody. So this is a great the quiet launch, 12 hours early. And for all of you out there, we appreciate you. You're the super fans who are supporting us, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much. All right, guys, it's 11 o'clock here on the East Coast. We're going to bounce, and until next week. Oh, Silver Sunday is 9 p.m. on Sunday, and we do have podcasts. Go out there. They're on Spotify and all the streaming services. We got so many good things. Go to silverlinecomics.com and check out the craft post that Tim curates, and he aptly puts line is everywhere, and we're always watching. Well, not really. We hope you're always watching us. We love you all. Hugs to everybody, and we'll see you next time. Until then, as always, make mine.
Silverline.
Good night, everybody. Good night.